On OSRC News at 7, authorities move to place enabling financing law for rural road maintenance in Ondo State. Electric wire snap kills 3 people at Okeigbo. Police declares 12 persons wanted over deadly attacks in Anambra. From the foreign scene, US President Biden requests Congress to allow more assistance for Ukraine. Good evening and welcome on the news. I am Olatomiwa Donald Falayi. Over 2,000 kilometers rural road projects are expected to be constructed by Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project (RAMP) in Ondo State to enhance easy access. The project, which is worth about $55 million, was achieved through the intervention of World Bank, federal government, and the Ondo State government as part of efforts to ensure food sufficiency in the state. RAMP Regional Infrastructure Advisor, Southern Region, Alizan Aliyu, led World Bank consultant team to Accra, the Ondo State capital, to investigate the possibility of having a law to sustain the project even after the expiration of the present government tenure. Omoriola Humbiji has details.
One of the challenges threatening development in Africa is mobility, especially on rural roads where foods and raw materials are generated from. Addressing the situation, Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project (RAM) embarked on rural road projects for the benefit of farmers, but concerned about maintenance of the projects. To this end, RAM and World Bank are meeting stakeholders in each state, proposing a bill for the creation of Rural Access Road Authority and state road funds for the sustainability of the projects. RAM State Project Coordinator in Ondo State, Olushola Dada, said the essence of the visit is to propose a law that will protect the interest of majority in rural communities.
Part of the things that will keep the system, that will make the agency functional, is the SRF. Where will the money come from? The State Road Fund. How will it be constituted? How will they source for money to maintain this road over this period of time? That's the essence of the visitation of the bank team.
RAM Regional Infrastructure Advisor, Southern Region, Al-Hassan Aliyu, said the proposed project will help in sourcing money for the maintenance of rural roads.
Although the project is going to intervene on not less than 2,000 kilometers of rural access roads, rural roads. These 2,000 kilometers will receive various forms or various levels of interventions.
World Bank Road Sector Reform Consultant Melsom Abedin maintained that the road reform is part of the agreement the state government signed with the World Bank to have an agency responsible for the maintenance of rural roads after the completion of the projects, hence the need for state road funds, SRF. Abedin said the state road funds would be generated from users' fees and percentage from the state government.
But the core objective of the State Road Fund is to raise revenue for maintenance of the road network. Just getting to the states, getting to the roads can be more difficult and more costly. So there's a managerial bias against rural roads.
Other agencies visited include Economic Planning and Budget, Internal Revenue Service, Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Justice, among others.
Mainly, Ondo State is an agrarian society, and bulk of our product there, they are live fallow in the interior. So our thinking has been rural. What a timely marriage.
Project that Mr. Governor has conceived in his mind even before he became the governor of Ondo State. And for us, what we are having today is a dream come true.
It also is going to support the redeem agenda of our governor, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. You know, top on that redeem agenda is rural and agricultural development.
We are going to provide the necessary legislative framework to make the project come to life.
They recommended policy, and I had to explain to them that We need an integrated approach, not to overtax our people, because in our extant laws, there are provisions there.
Meanwhile, stakeholders, including the World Bank consultants and representative of the federal government, would embark on a workshop where decisions on the bills would be taken. Omoniola Humbiji, OSRC News.
The Commercial Federal Safety Corps, Dr. Boboye Oyemi, has directed the redeployment of 46 senior officers in the capacity of assistant corps marshals and corps commanders. The FRSC spokesperson, BC Kazim, in a statement on Friday, said this was pursuant to the approval of the promotion of senior officers by the Federal Safety Commission and the need to strategically reposition the officers for optimal performance. He noted that all the affected officers are expected to report to their new command on or before Monday, 2nd of May, 2022. No fewer than 3 people have been killed by a wire snap at Okegbo in Ileoluji Okegbo local government of Ondo State. The victims, who are children, were said to be playing inside a kiosk under high-tension wire when the wire snapped. The children were said to have died immediately. Confirming this, the BADC spokesperson, Michael Barnabas, said the incident happened on Thursday evening. He advised residents to avoid building or working under high-tension wire.
From the preliminary report available to me currently, there was a wire snap, an 11 kV wire snap that occurred somewhere around Ileoluji yesterday. And when the wire snapped, there was a container shop that was underneath the wire, underneath the wire. So from the information we had, some children were electrocuted, which led to loss of lives. Information available to me, about 3 children were said to have died as a result of the wire snap that got down yesterday. Basically, as a company, one thing we can always do is that we can always appeal to customers to stop living or trading under our power lines, because this is something we take very serious. We don't have power to relocate or move anybody away from the lines. That is a function of the government. But we as a person, we can only appeal to people, because accidents are bound to happen in every human endeavors. But the best, what mitigates the effects of the accident is what effort one has put into place. So as a company, we will always appeal to customers to please don't trade or live under our power lines, because accident can happen at any time. But if accident happens and there are no people underneath the lines, it mitigates the effects of such accidents or occurrences.
For the second time in 5 months, over 400 farmers have protested over the failure of the Ekiti state government to pay them compensation for their farmland acquired for the ongoing construction of the cargo airport. The aggrieved farmers had last October protested at the project site, calling on Governor Kayode Fayemi to pay them compensation. The protesters from communities which are located along Ado-Ijo-Ekiti Road pleaded with concerned authorities to consider their plight. When contacted, the technical advisor to Governor Fayemi on the airport projects, Adeniyi Ojuawo, pleaded with the farmers to exercise patience. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige believes the suspension of the strike embarked on by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, is dependent on the union. Ngige made the comment on Thursday, calling for the varsity lecturers to be considerate. The former Anambra State Governor, who reiterated that he cannot make a commitment on when the impasse will be resolved, called on the lecturers to do their part. According to him, ASUU should stop threatening government officials and agencies. He said he is worried by the incessant strikes in public universities in Nigeria, stressing that he has not slept in a bid to see that the schools are reopened. The minister noted that there will be a meeting of all stakeholders next week as part of moves to resolve the lingering strike. Meanwhile, the National Common Entrance Examination (NCEE) for admissions into federal unity colleges has been postponed. The exam, which was scheduled to hold from 23rd April 2022, is now scheduled to hold May 7. The postponement was due to the low registration of candidates and the new dates announced, giving more parents and guardians the opportunity to register their words for the examination. In a statement by the head of Information and Public Relations Division, Aziz Sani, NECO enjoined candidates, parents, guardians and relevant stakeholders to take note of the new date for the examination, adding that registration of candidates will continue till the new date of the examination. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has asked political appointees and civil servants interested in elective posts in 2023 to resign from their respective positions. This was contained in a memo issued by the head of service, Akim Muri Okunla, and obtained by newsmen. According to the circular, all appointees and civil servants are in elective offices and aiming to participate in party primaries as well as other political activities should resign before April 19th, 2022. After chanting and screaming his name for minutes non-stop, ex-President Goodluck Jonathan has come out to receive scores of supporters who stormed his Abuja office to urge him to contest in forthcoming presidential election. The protesters, under the banner of a group, Youth Compatriots of Nigeria, said they observed their desire is to see the former leader back in ASUU in 2023. Responding, Jonathan thanked the youth for showing greater interest in the nation's political process. The erstwhile president said he cannot declare yet, but urged the youth to take advantage of the Not Too Young to Rule Act to add value to the Nigerian democracy. We'll bring you more stories after this break. Please stay with us.
After a fruitful Ramadan day, replenish your body with the right nutrients. Make this your best Ramadan yet. Ramadan Kareem from Orlando Dairy and Chivita Fruit Juice.
Get data unlimited to experience Dance Unlimited on Glow TV. Watch Battle of the Year and other amazing TV content with Glow TV data plans that will make you dance. Dial *777# to choose the right data plan for you.
You're welcome back. It's still OSRC News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on our Facebook page OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Moving on. Nigerians have been challenged on the need to live their lives with eternity in view and impact on fellow citizens. Catholic Bishop of Ondo Diocese Jude Arogundade gave the admonition at the commendation service held in honor of a former Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, late Professor Adebayo Daramola. OSRC's Abigail Oyeyemi reports that members of the university community converged on FUTA campus to pay their last respects to the university don who died on March the 25th, 2022. The report is presented from the studios.
Family, friends and professional colleagues of late Professor Adebayo Daramola paid their last respects to the late former Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, the officiating minister at the commendation service and Catholic Bishop of Ondo Diocese, Most Reverend Jude Arogundade, said the deceased worked with dignity and protected his name. The bishop also advised the family of the deceased to take solace in the assurance of resurrection on the last day.
Be ye as you know him, is already in the presence of God, giving accounts of his stewardship. And God, who is all-knowing, who is all-just, and who is also all-kind and merciful, may he have mercy on him and grant him everlasting life.
A sibling of the deceased, Reverend Sister Daramola, thanked the FUTA family for nurturing the late professor from the level of junior lecturer till he died.
All men and women of God that have actually joined him in prayers at various periods of his time,
As FUTA's 6th substantive vice-chancellor, late Professor Daramola was reputed to have worked assiduously to take the university to global limelight.
He really impacted FUTA. His vision for FUTA was to take FUTA to the marketplace, and that he did right well. He took FUTA to the marketplace. He was a go-getter. He does not take a no for an answer. He really impacted FUTA.
Prof. B. Daramola will support your growth. Prof. B. Daramola will assist you in achieving your goals. Prof. B. Daramola will stand by you. Yes, he is blunt. Yes, he is bold. Yes, he is fearless. But yet, he is a loving gentleman.
The remains of late Professor Adebayo Daramola will be committed to Mother Earth on Saturday.
Members of staff of Chrisland schools have visited the State's Criminal Investigation Department, Yaba, Lagos State, to make statement on the case of sexual acts involving pupils of the school during a trip to Dubai, United Arab Emirates. According to report, teachers that accompanied the student who represented the school during the World School Games in Dubai were among the staff members that visited the SCID. It was, however, noted that the parents of the male student had yet to visit command, seeing the mother of a 10-year-old female student at the center of the incident gave a statement on Wednesday. It was reported that officials of the Lagos State Ministry of Education interrogated the management of the school alongside the teachers who accompanied the 76 pupils to the event. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has canvassed state police as the most feasible option to address the escalating insecurity in the country. Obasanjo played host to the National Association of Ex-Local Government Chairmen in Nigeria at his country home, Abeokuta, Ogun State, noted that community policing can match the sophistication of criminals wasting precious lives on a daily basis. The elder statesman stressed that community policing is not necessarily out of place, adding that it could evolve from the state police, which is more potent to complement other security architecture to handle the prevailing threats to lives and unity of the country. Obasanjo commended the brains behind the National Association of the Ex-Local Government Chairmen in Nigeria, describing the initiative as an impetus to local government administration in the country. In the meantime, the Nigeria Police Force has declared 12 persons wanted over the deadly attacks in the Awka North Council area of Anambra State. According to the police spokesman, Muyiwa Adejobi, the suspects have questions to answer to, bordering on conspiracy, murder, armed robbery, terrorism, kidnapping, cultism, and unlawful possession of firearms. He added that the police had secured a court order to declare all the 12 fleeing suspects who are male of Igbo extraction with ages ranging from 25 to 55 years wanted. The police urged the public to assist it with useful information which would facilitate their arrest so they could face justice. Also, Katsina State Police Command says no fewer than 2 terrorists have been killed with their operational weapons, charms and ammunition recovered. Police Public Relations Officer Gambo Issa, during a press briefing at the command headquarters, Katsina, said the terrorists were neutralized following a distress call. The terrorists were said to have attacked Samiya Gwako village in Kaffa local government area of the state and kidnapped a 30-year-old woman and a 15-month-old daughter. Issa said a combined team of police and a vigilante group were alerted as they blocked and engaged the terrorists in gun duel, repelling their attacks. He further explained that the kidnapped victims were rescued alive unhurt. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement some youths for organizing a cannabis party in their Sokoro area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The party was reportedly organized by a group of ladies on Wednesday night. It was gathered that the youths were having a nice time when the NDLEA officers invaded the venue of the reveling. The FCT Police Public Relations Officer Josephine Ade is yet to comment. President Muhammadu Buhari says increasing insecurity production in country of vaccines President Muhammadu Buhari says increasing in-country production of vaccines and medical supplies has become a matter of not just urgency, but of national security. He directed the Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Ehanere, submit a progress report by the end of May on the indigenous production of vaccines in the country. Buhari gave the directive while receiving the leadership of the Nigeria Integrated Biopharmaceutical Industries Consortium led by the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of FedLab, Mr. Villaros Gessios. Buhari noted that many nations which are developed comparative advantage in being centers of biopharmaceutical production adopted a me-first attitude toward securing their citizens, placing developing nations, particularly those in Africa, at severe disadvantage. And to the foreign scene, after nearly 2 months of heavy flooding that devastated much of the city, Russia has declared victory in Mariupol. Ukraine's forces lost control of the besieged port city, but denies it has fallen. Oladoyin Ayebusi has more.
This is what victory looks like for the Russian military. Nearly 2 months into Moscow's so-called special military operation, and its defense minister is now declaring its major success.
The armed forces of the Russian Federation and the People's Militia of Donetsk People's Republic have liberated Mariupol. The remnants of the formation of nationalists took refuge in industrial zone of the Azovstal plant.
The steel plant remains the last stronghold for Ukrainian troops in Mariupol who have refused to surrender. Officials believe there are nearly 2,000 Ukrainian fighters holed up in and around the steel plant. For days, Russian officials have been saying they are a small radical ceasefire period to let them surrender, or they will have to storm the plant. Now the commander-in-chief of Russia's armed forces has other ideas.
I consider the proposed storming of the industrial area pointless. I order to abort it. This is the case when we must think, that is, we must always think, but even more so in this case, about preserving the life and health of our soldiers and officers. There's no need to climb into these catacombs and crawl underground through these industrial facilities. Block off this industrial area so that not even a fly comes through.
I know they captured most of Mariupol a long time ago. We are very well aware of that. But there's a part of the city where our servicemen remain, and they will stay there for now.
These once thriving the port city was home to more than 400,000 people. Now fewer than 50,000 left, unable to escape the fighting. According to the Donetsk People's Republic, 721 children are going to school in Mariupol under its supervision. The separatists say Moscow has sent school books for children, including textbooks on the Russian language and Russian history.
Children are glad to be alive, to communicate with each other. They respect elders. Some of them met their teachers, their school directors from previous schools.
Posters reading for homelands, for Russians, for Durbans, all in Russian, cover the walls in these schools, an indication of what is likely to come as Russian officials say it is now safe for residents to return home. Oladoyin Ayebusi, OSRC News.
U.S. President Joe Biden has pledged another $800 million of military assistance to Kiev for weapons, ammunition and drones. The report is presented from the studios.
As the Russian siege on the Ukrainian city of Mariupol continues, it intends on crushing any remaining resistance. The White House said it is sending new ship of military aid to help Ukrainians fight back.
We're in a window now. And the United States and our allies and partners are moving as fast as possible to continue to provide Ukraine the forces that they need, the weapons they need, the equipment they need. Their forces need to defend their nation.
The latest package was announced the same day the Ukrainian Prime Minister was in Washington meeting with the U.S. President Joe Biden and military leaders. 144,000 rounds of ammunition follows more than 1 billion security assistance already sent to Ukraine.
However, with this latest disbursement, I've almost exhausted the drawdown authority I have that Congress authorized for Ukraine.
That's why next week, Biden will ask Congress for even more money to continue the flow of weapons. But as for where these weapons go, the White House admits indicates that there is little accountability. The failure to track who is receiving U.S. weapons are concerns to members of the President's Democratic Party. Congresswoman Omar last month tweeted, "The consequences could be disastrous if weapons are given to paramilitary groups without accountability."
A lot of these weapons also end up in conflicts outside of the country, and this is one of the primary concerns. It's really out of the control of the United States. When we provide weapons, we try to ask the countries to agree to use them and control them in certain ways. But ultimately, that's not something we can have control over.
For decades, the U.S. government has aimed non-state groups in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, and elsewhere, after which there are huge consequences. Most recently, in Afghanistan, weapons supplied by the United States to fight the Taliban are now being used by some criminals against civilians to commit human rights violations. Sunday Kolawole, OSRC News.
Sport. Thousands of supporters turned out to welcome Sunshine Stars FC of Akure back home on March Day 24 of the 2022 Nigeria Professional Football League as the team made an instant impact with a win over league leaders Rivers United. Leonard Ugochukwu's 5th-minute header was the difference between the sides, taking its tally to 7 goals this season. OSRC's Abiodun Adewale reports that the Deputy Governor of the state, Lucky Ayedatiwa, was at the Sports Complex to experience the homecoming with the fans.
For 258 days, the teaming supporters of Sunshine Stars Football Club of Akure have been starved of NPFL actions at their backyard on the 24th of the current season. The darling team returns to Akure against league leaders Rivers United. Same team they beat the last time played here on August 5, 2021. The gates were thrown open for the homecoming, and despite being a midweek fixture, the fans turned out.
It has been a difficult period. Coupled with the fact that the team is playing very well compared to what we witnessed early last. I feel like I just have come out from my malaria for a long time. So I thank God that I'm back to the Akure Stadium.
As they fired out from the dugout, most of them for the first time since joining the club, Sunshine Stars players knew how heavy the task ahead was, and they took it as a matter of urgency in front of the Deputy Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, the Commissioner for Youth Development and Sports Bamidele Ologun, among other important personalities. 5 minutes into the game, Leonard Ugochukwu headed Sunshine Stars in front for his 7th goal of the season, giving the fans a taste of what they have been missing. Rivers United showed why they've only lost once this season, dictating the pace of the game as much as they could, while Sunshine Stars curtailed their visitors and protect their lead into the break. While Rivers United continued to threaten, Sunshine Stars had the better chances to Ugochukwu, Abib Yakub, AGK Uzwechi and Aziz Ajagbe saw their opportunities go begging. The first half goal was all that mattered in the end. Sunshine Stars marked their return to Akure with a win that put an end to the 12-game unbeaten run of Rivers United.
Never forget about this game. We're playing about tomorrow. The boy they show good character. They are good side team. So to me, I know.
Road maintenance of the state. And that ends the news at 7 today. Thanks for watching. Good evening.